Hey everyone, it's me again. Today we're talking about Deepseek. It's this really cool technology, and it's been in the news a lot lately. You know, for all the amazing things it can do. And listen, some of it really amazing, but as with all new technology, there are like caveats. Things they don't always put on the front of the box. And that's what we're going to explore today. The hidden challenges, the potential downsides, the stuff that makes you stop and think, maybe it's not all sunshine and roses. We're going to look beyond the hype and ask some tough questions about Deepseek. Because, let's be real, technology is rarely ever just good or bad. It's complicated, just like the world we live in, right? Over the next few chapters, we'll be diving deep into the technical issues, user experience challenges, ethical concerns, and other problems that you really need to be aware of. We're talking accuracy, bias, transparency, the whole shebang, so buckle up you all, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Deepseek is often touted for its accuracy, and yeah, it can be amazingly accurate sometimes, but other times, well, it can be wildly inconsistent, and that's a problem. Because when something claims to be accurate and then isn't, it undermines trust. It's like asking your friend for directions, and them consistently sending you to the wrong place. The thing is, Deepseek is a powerful tool, but it's still a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends on a lot of factors. The quality of the data it's trained on, the specific task it's being asked to perform, even things like the way the question is phrased, can all impact its accuracy. And when Deepseek gets it wrong, it can have real-world consequences. Think about things like medical diagnoses, financial predictions, or even just trying to find reliable information online. Inaccurate results can lead to misdiagnoses, poor financial decisions, and the spread of misinformation. And that's not even getting into the ethical ramifications yet. Deepseek can be inaccurate, and that inaccuracy can be caused by the data itself. It's about fairness, equity, and not reinforcing existing inequalities. Deepseek learns from massive amounts of data, often reflecting societal biases. Garbage in, garbage out, biased data leads to biased results. This bias can impact lives, limiting opportunities and reinforcing stereotypes. We must acknowledge these issues and work to mitigate them, because if we don't, we risk a future where technology reinforces our worst aspects. So, Deepseek is really good at certain things, right? Like scarily good. It can translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and answer your questions in an informative way, even if they're open-ended, challenging, or strange. But, and this is a big but, this expertise comes at a cost. It's like that friend we all have who's read every book about the French Revolution, can recite Robespierre's speeches from memory but can't boil water. Deepseek, for all its knowledge, is limited by the data it's been trained on. This means if it hasn't seen enough examples of something, it kind of freaks out. It's like asking your history buff friend to explain the intricacies of cryptocurrency. They might have a general idea, but they're not your go-to expert. And this limitation isn't just a funny quirk, it's a real problem. Because when we rely on Deepseek for information, we need to be aware of its blind spots. We've all heard the saying, "You are what you eat." Well, Deepseek operates on a similar principle. You are what you're trained on. Just like a healthy diet is crucial for our well-being, high-quality data is essential for Deepseek's performance. If you feed it a steady diet of biased, inaccurate, or incomplete information, guess what? It's going to produce biased, inaccurate, and incomplete results. It's like trying to bake a cake with rotten eggs and moldy flour. You're not going to end up with a culinary masterpiece. And here's the thing, the internet, where Deepseek gets a lot of its data, is full of, let's just say, questionable information. From fake news articles to social media echo chambers, it's a minefield of misinformation. Now, this doesn't mean Deepseek is doomed to be a purveyor of falsehoods, but it does highlight the importance of being critical consumers of information, whether it comes from a human or an AI. Deepseek, for all its wonders, can sometimes feel like a bit of a magic trick. You put in a question, you get out an answer, but you have no idea how it actually got there. It's like asking a magician to reveal their secrets. They might tell you, but then they'd have to make you disappear. This lack of transparency, often referred to as the black box problem, is a major concern in the world of AI. Because when we don't understand how a system is making decisions, it's hard to trust those decisions. Think about it. Would you trust a doctor who couldn't explain their diagnosis, or a judge who couldn't justify their verdict? Probably not. And yet, we're increasingly relying on AI systems that operate in this opaque way, making decisions that impact our lives in significant ways. Voiceover. Now, I'm not suggesting that Deepseek is intentionally hiding its inner workings from us. It's more that its decision-making process is so complex, so multi-layered, that even its creators have trouble fully comprehending it. But that doesn't mean we should just throw up our hands and say, oh well, AI is a mystery we'll never solve. On the contrary, we need to be pushing for greater transparency in these systems. We need to be able to understand how Deepseek arrives at its conclusions, what factors it takes into account, and what biases might be baked into its algorithms. Because ultimately, trust is built on understanding. And if we want people to embrace the potential of AI, we need to make it less of a black box and more of a glass box. Hey everyone, today we're diving into the allure and potential pitfalls of automation. It's easy to think machines can do it all, right? But we must ask, at what cost? Automation is revolutionary, but it's still just a tool. Over-reliance without human oversight can lead to issues. We need experts to interpret and make the final call. Technology should enhance our lives, not dictate them. So, we humans were really good at understanding context. Like, we know that bats can refer to the nocturnal flying mammal or a piece of sporting equipment depending on the conversation. We understand sarcasm, irony, and the subtle nuances of language. Deepseek, on the other hand, not so much. And this lack of contextual understanding can lead to some pretty significant problems. For example, imagine Deepseek is tasked with analyzing social media posts to gauge public sentiment about a new product. It might see the phrase totally tubular and interpret it as negative because the word tubular is often used sarcastically. This might seem like a small thing, but when you're dealing with large data sets and complex decision-making processes, these kinds of misunderstandings can have serious consequences. We've seen this happen with facial recognition software misidentifying people, translation tools generating nonsensical sentences, and even chatbots spewing out hateful rhetoric. And it all boils down to this: context matters. It's the glue that holds meaning together, and without it, even the most advanced AI can fall apart. So how do we address this challenge? Well, it's a complex issue, but one promising avenue is to develop AI systems that are more attuned to the nuances of human language and culture. Systems that can understand not just the literal meaning of words, but also the intent and emotions behind them. Okay, let's talk about misinformation. We all know it's a huge problem online. From fake news articles to doctored images, it feels like we're constantly bombarded with misleading and inaccurate information. And here's the thing: Deepseek, as powerful as it is, can actually exacerbate this problem. Now, Deepseek itself doesn't inherently create misinformation. It's not like it's sitting in a dark room somewhere, plotting to deceive us all. But because of its ability to process information quickly and at scale, it can be used to spread misinformation far and wide. Think of it like this. Imagine someone creates a fake news article and then uses Deepseek to identify and target individuals who are most likely to believe it. Or maybe they use Deepseek to generate hundreds of fake social media accounts to amplify the reach of their message. Suddenly, that piece of misinformation has gone from a single article to a full-blown viral campaign, reaching millions of people and potentially influencing their opinions and behaviors. And that's the scary part. Deepseek can be used to manipulate and deceive on a massive scale, and that's something we need to be very aware of and actively work to prevent. So what can we do? Well, for starters, we need to be critical of the information we see online, especially if it comes from sources we don't recognize. We also need to support efforts to detect and flag misinformation, and hold platforms accountable for the content they allow to spread. Let's talk about something more human: job displacement due to AI. AI like Deepseek could replace jobs in various fields, not just factories. This shift might create new jobs, but they require different skills. We need to invest in education and training for future jobs. Advocate for policies that protect workers and promote ethical AI. By working together, we can create a future where everyone thrives. What about Deepseek taking over our lives? The more we rely on technology like Deepseek, the more we risk becoming dependent on it. It's designed to make our lives easier, but it's easy to become reliant on it. We might start to question our own judgment. What happens if Deepseek is wrong? We need to be mindful and maintain our critical thinking skills. Spend less time plugged in and more time engaging with the world. Remember, we are still in control. Let's talk about a technical challenge: scalability. Deepseek thrives on data, but as data grows, so does the challenge. Imagine Deepseek trying to drink from a fire hose. Traditional methods crumble under this pressure. It requires constant innovation in hardware and software, and exploring new types of computing like quantum computing. It's a challenge that requires collaboration to harness AI responsibly and sustainably. So, you've built your Deepseek model, you're feeling good, you're feeling accomplished. Maybe you even taught it to write Shakespearean sonnets about pizza, which, honestly, let's be real, is the dream. But here's the thing about technology, and maybe life too, it doesn't stand still. Deepseek, like any complex system, needs regular maintenance and updates to stay relevant and effective. It's like owning a vintage record player. You can't just expect it to play perfectly forever without changing the needle or cleaning the dust off the records. And trust me, I know a thing or two about vintage record players. The digital world is constantly shifting, with new data emerging, new algorithms being developed, and new ethical considerations coming to light. Keeping your Deepseek model updated isn't just about fixing bugs, it's about ensuring it remains accurate, fair, and aligned with the ever-evolving world around us. Keeping Deepseek running smoothly requires a dedicated team, continuous monitoring, and a willingness to adapt. It's a commitment, not a one-time fix. Think of it like tending a garden. You wouldn't just plant the seeds and walk away, expecting a bountiful harvest without regular watering, weeding, and maybe even a little fertilizer now and then. And just like a neglected garden can become overgrown and unproductive, an outdated Deepseek model can become inaccurate, biased, and ultimately ineffective. Imagine relying on a map from the 15th century to navigate your way around the world today. It wouldn't end well, would it? That's why allocating resources for ongoing maintenance and updates is crucial. It's about ensuring that your Deepseek model remains a valuable tool, not a digital relic gathering dust in the archives of technological history. This brings us to the next challenge, the one we all knew was coming, the elephant in the server room, if you will: the cost. Let's talk about money. Or, as they say in the tech world, let's talk about investment, because implementing and maintaining Deepseek technology isn't free. In fact, it can be pretty darn expensive. We're talking about powerful hardware, complex software, and a team of skilled engineers. It's not exactly pocket change. Developing and deploying sophisticated AI models like Deepseek requires significant financial resources. It's not just the initial development costs, which can be substantial, but also the ongoing expenses associated with data storage, computational power, and the constant need for maintenance and updates. Remember those updates we talked about in the last chapter? Yeah, those come with a price tag too. Think of it like owning a high-performance sports car. Sure, it's exhilarating to drive, but be prepared for the cost of fuel, maintenance, and the occasional unexpected repair. But here's the thing about cost. It's all relative. Yes, Deepseek can be expensive, but it can also be incredibly valuable. It's like investing in a good education. It might require a significant upfront investment, but the potential long-term returns can be immeasurable. Deepseek can streamline processes, automate tasks, and unlock insights that were previously hidden. This can lead to increased efficiency, improved decision-making, and ultimately, a significant return on investment. It's about weighing the costs against the potential benefits and deciding if Deepseek is the right tool for the job. But even if the benefits outweigh the costs, it's important to remember that Deepseek isn't a magic solution. It's a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used responsibly, ethically, and with a clear understanding of its limitations. Because the real cost isn't just about money, it's about the potential consequences of using powerful technology without careful consideration. Thank you for joining us in exploring the hidden problems with Deepseek. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? From the complexities of bias and data dependency, to the ethical concerns of job displacement, and the ever-present need for human oversight, we've covered a lot of ground. But the conversation doesn't end here. Stay informed, and make sure to consider these issues when using or developing similar technologies. Because the future of AI isn't just about technological advancement, it's about using that technology responsibly, ethically, and for the betterment of humanity. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. And remember, the most important algorithm in AI is the one we choose to create.